Okay. I don't keep report.
And then did you want anything to drink besides water?
Six 30.
Thank you. Hi Jay, how are you? He's on. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Thank you for coming. If you don't know me, I'm Brian Cook. I'm the Vice President of Cereal City Alliance and also your local zone chair. So, and this is our first District Governor Advisory Committee meeting for the year. They give us topics to talk about, so this one is focusing on service, and I'm glad everybody came. A couple of housekeeping things. Everybody should have received a blue ticket. Is there anybody that didn't get a blue ticket? Those will be for our door prizes at the end. And everybody should have a dinner. Stephanie's our waitress, and she takes pretty good care of us. And so everybody has ordered dinner. And kind of the way it works, they just bring the food out as it comes, so we've got a pretty packed agenda tonight. So we'll just, eat right through the meals and feel free to eat it as it comes along, okay? So we'll do that. We have a nice slate of, speakers, so you don't need to listen to me all night. That'll be a nice change. We have Nancy Hill, coming from Jackson, and her husband Dave. Lions extraordinaire over there. Another lion extraordinaire, Roger Bosse, over here. He'll be communicating some information. And our fourth lion extraordinaire is Teresa Gest back there. And she'll be talking about kids' site and much more. So, all right. Yep. And also, we have several district governors with us this evening, or past district governor, including Kelly Luby, our current district governor. Thank you, Kelly, for coming. She was actually here last Wednesday. She came to our charter night, and she was our speaker last. So she found the way a lot easier this evening. So thank you. Thank you for coming, Kelly, and making it in your schedule to do that. Also, other past district governors, Dave Hill is here, so, and Craig Bishop is over here, another past district governor. So, I think that's it for district governors. And we can almost have a cabinet meeting tonight, but, we'll save that for later, okay? The other thing I want to acknowledge just kind of before we get started, we've lost a few lions this year already. And we just lost Betty Robbins from the host club and a couple weeks ago. So she was a lion for 29 years. Her husband was a district governor. So another one off the roster. And she will be missed. Yep. So we're sorry to leave. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get started, and we'll just roll right through here tonight. Teresa Gest, if everybody can stand up, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance, and Teresa Gest will lead us in that.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have Muriel Walters, Serial City, to do our invocation.
Thank you. Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing our zone meeting of Bedford, Serial City, Post, Marshall, and Pennfield Lions to meet this evening at the Riverside Golf Club. Thank you for our guest leader, Brian Cook. Great leader, sorry. We are honored tonight with our speaker, Nancy Hill, and others who will talk to us about service. Service is the motto of our Lions clubs. We thank you that we can come together and learn new and remember old ideas of how we can serve. We are grateful for our used glass collection. We work together in our zone to collect service and distribute the glasses to the special needs low vision clinic in Saginaw. Thank you for the opportunity to serve our blind and low vision friends out at winter camp. You, dear Lord, make these services possible. Also for kids' site. We pray for safe travels home this evening. Thank you for all you have done for us so we can serve in many ways. Remembering our motto, we serve. Amen.
All right, thank you, Muriel. One of the first things we want to do is to go around and introduce ourselves and let us know who's here. If you can give us your name, what club you're with, and how many years you've been with Lions, And one of the service projects you worked on that might have been your favorite one, or one you'd like to do in the future, something like that. And we'll start with District Governor Kelly Levy.
When you introduced me, but I'll say it again, District Kelly Ruby from Jackson, our virtual club. And one of the things that we like to do in our community, we have an outdoor yard sale palooza, like every spring, summer, winter, fall. So we're getting ready to do another one here in October, and we are going to be doing white paint along with handing out candy to the kids. And I enjoy going to those. So working in the community, we got to food.
Here City Lion, Teresa Gest, and my favorite project, that's a hard question because we have so many projects and they're just so wonderful. I think if I would have to pick a favorite, it would probably be the partnership with Rise and food distribution.
Cereal City Lion, Scott Plank. River cleanup is really fun that I enjoy.
Serial City Lion, Hope Swing, and I think our environmental project is one of my favorite.
Battle Creek Coast Lion, the Burning Game. Doing a little work with the Historical Society. And as you know, we just lost a member, so we're down to about 10 members, and we have 4 members in the meeting. Well, yeah, 4 members in the meeting.
Craig Bishop, and I guess since I moved to the host club, working with the paper was a lot of fun and a lot of work, but that was a good idea, but we only had 4 members to do the paper sale that we used to do, and that got us the biggest amount of money. And but I guess we are doing a new project through the History Museum. I've saved one room, all of the local regional clubs. And we're going to have our 100th year anniversary in 24. So we're trying to do an exhibit at that time.
Gilman, Battle Creek Host, Battle Creek History Museum.
Roger Bosse, Serial City Lions. I guess I've been a member about 8 years now. So as far as service projects, I like all of them, but I'd have to say winter camp is the one that sort of trips my trigger the most. So.
Brian Cook, Serial City Lion. I've been in Lions going on 8 years now, and probably environmental projects. I've started a lot of those with a couple of them transferred here from Helmont, and got involved with those, so they're pretty fun. But there's a lot of things our club is doing, all the things, and a lot of different things we're doing that we enjoy doing.
You know, we do a trunk or treat every year. It's over in cooperation with Spring Arbor Free Methodist Church, and we donate and we grill 1,200 hot dogs, you know, and give them away. You know, and you get to look at all the kids dressed up like dinosaurs. That's one of my favorites.
Nancy Hill, we're both from Vandercook, and we've been members about 11 years. I think one of my favorite recent service projects was something that Kelly set up, and that was doing the Kid Site trailer at the Jackson County Fair. It's a lot to do for one club over a whole week, but Kelly was able to get it set up and sign different clubs up for a whole day or a half day. And it was a great way to do what my mother would say, many hands make light work. So a lot for one club to do, but very doable for all the Jackson community clubs to do. So we really enjoyed that. when we were there, when Danica was there, we did have a lot of referrals, which was bad news. But the good news was it was right before school and we were able to get those kids taken care of so that they are hopefully doing better in school now. Muriel Walters, Zero City Lion and Bedford Lion. My favorite, of course, is collecting used eyeglasses. And I've been a lion in Surrey City about 15 years and probably 17 years with Bedford.
I'm Margaret Teagle. I've been a member of the Bedford Lions. Started out as a lioness for many years, but we combine the years and it's a total of 33 years. And my favorite project, on October 20th, we're starting up our soup and salad at the Bedford Lions Den. We serve chili and 3 additional soups. And I have a salad bar and a dessert table. It's all included for a donation. Thank you very much.
My name is, excuse me, Michael. I'm with the Third Area Lions Club. I'm really hoarse for some reason. Been a lion for, I think, 27 years. I've lost track. Been quite a while. One of my favorite activities we just did here not long ago, and that's Fight King Week. And that's because I really enjoy all of the people that stop and make donations and say very positive things about lions and things that lions do in their service.
Bud Sager from the Pennfield Lions Club. I think I've been a lion now for 12 years. As far as the service project that we do that I would mention is the most important that the club does, in my opinion, is the Christmas basket program, and that's because it affects so many people. When you get family involved with the kids, it gets a lot of people that way.
28-year lion, Pennfield Lion, Terry Ensign. The project that I like that's most rewarding to me personally is our Christmas basket. It's a great thing to do.
Larry Boyer from Pennfield Lions. I'm this year's president. I've been in Lions for 25 years. I'm gonna have to agree with them. Our Christmas baskets, we started out doing that with, we service maybe 10, 12, 15 families now, or we do anywhere from 40 to 50 families that we do every Christmas. But that's what's nice about it is that we work together with the school. The kids bring in during the month of December, they bring in canned goods and such, and that's what they help us. And then we go out and buy, we raise money and buy other things. But that's one of the best. But we also have our candy sales coming up this weekend. We used to do the mint candies at stores. Well, we found out a lot of times that we lost more candy than we gained in money. So now we do a candy sale. We do one weekend. We collect money and hand candies out for to give us the money. But so we do it this Friday from 7 to 7 and Saturday 7 to 7.
Great, lots of things going on, and I think like we all have multiple projects going on with our club, and it's hard to pick a good one, but that's great. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of service happening out there,
Right.
so that's excellent.
We had Kay on here.
Oh, and we have one more.
She just stepped away. Kay, you wanna,
Is Kay back?
you wanna introduce yourself? Kay?
Our Serial City President, Kate Smith, she came down with COVID last week and missed our charter night and everything, and so she's missing this evening, but we are, thanks to Roger, we're zooming her in today, so.
Get the mic. Yeah, she should be able to tell us who you are, Kay.
I'm sorry.
Tell us who
There you
you
go.
are and how long you've been in Lions and what's your favorite service project?
Well, I've been in Lions about 5 years now, and well, all our service projects are kind of my favorite, but I'm maybe the one most familiar with is the spaghetti supper and the garage sale. So those would be the two that I spend the most time with.
And how are you feeling?
I'm better than I sound. Pretty good, actually, except for the cough. Pretty mild case, actually, thank goodness.
All right, well, we're sending prayers your way and hopefully you get soon that day, okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Some of the goals and objectives for our zone, kind of some of the things I've laid out this year. First thing we want to do is to make sure we're sharing all our information with the clubs. The officers will get a lot of the information tonight from all our speakers and handouts and different things and talk. So make sure not just to kind of sit on that, but make sure to take that back to your board meetings, take that back to your club meetings and share that information. So your other members will kind of have a good idea of what's going on with Lions out here, right? I'm looking for a +1 in our membership at the end of last year. We were down, I think, about seven Lions for our zone. We lost a lot of Lions died last year. And Marshall lost a bunch, and everybody seemed to lose 1 or 2. So that's kind of that's going to happen. So we got to look at that membership, and because they say about 10% of you're going to lose about 10% of your membership every year for one reason or another. And so to end is on a positive side, that's our goal for the year, or my goal. We're going to talk about service reporting tonight. The Hills are going to help us with that and how we can make sure we're reporting our service activities. And another one of my goals is to have at least 1 month where all my clubs report. All right, so that's kind of a personal goal on that. Try to get as many people to our conferences and our the fall conference, the forums, Michigan forums, our zone meetings, district meetings, to try to get some more Lions involved with that from the different clubs. Work with everybody to make each of us a success. We're kind of all in this together, guys. And so, we know the host club is kind of struggling on some members right now. So we can involve them with the service project. I think we've helped them before with their white team where we need to cover some shifts, so we can do that. And again, just keep that communication so that all our clubs in our zone can be successful and help each other out on that. I know Terry has added me to his email list, which is an excellent way to keep involved with that club. So Bedford, we'll be talking about that. If you can add me to your distribution list, if they've got that. I think that we've done that before, and Gail will talk about that too as well. Okay, but try to keep me on your email list. That'll keep me communicating with the clubs a little bit better. The goal is to get to each club twice a year. And this year, I hope to get to one of your service projects as well. So maybe help with the Christmas package or see what's going on there, and different things to try to be to one of your service projects. And the biggest thing we talked about is turnover with Lions. This is my 3rd year zone chair. Lions has this little 3-year window out there. So once you've done something for 3 years, it's time to have someone else do it. So I am looking for a replacement. It's pretty fun to see the different clubs and do different things. And if you have anybody of you that might be interested in that, or if you have anybody in your club, we've got a year to decide on that. So, all right. One of the handouts I handed out was the club assessment, which looks like this. There's a couple for each of the clubs. I didn't make a copy for everyone on that. I tried to highlight a few things, kind of that left side in the numbers. That's your current member count. And this was at the end of August, which is the most current one that we got. And so those are how many members are in each of our clubs. And if you look down below, I think I've circled it in pink. Our year to net growth is actually, we're down 2 for the zone, which now we're down at least 3, but I know Marshall has added some, at least 1, so that will kind of change a little bit. And then over on the right, where it talks about months since last activity report, that's when people have reported activities into my line. And again, as I talked about, the goal is to have everybody at 0, at least for 1 month. So that would be good. And all we need to do is just report one simple activity on that. Okay. So right now, we're gonna turn it over to our.
He just lost him.
Oh, Kay made a comment.
Oh, you have a question, comment?
Your microphone was gone. I'll shut myself up.
Okay, all right, we'll keep working on it, so, all right. Okay, so first speaker we have is, Lion Nancy Hill, right from Vandercook, Lake Lions over there, all the way from Jackson, Michigan. District extraordinaire, helps with lots and lots of district, projects for us, and is currently the global service team coordinator for our district. So I'll turn this over to Nancy Hill.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's a pleasure to be with all of you tonight. And it's a great time to be a Lion, isn't it? So happy to be with all of you, and I want to congratulate you for having such an awesome zone chair in Brian. He's doing a wonderful job. And I just want to tell you, I think zone chair, I used to be a zone chair, and I think it's one of the best jobs in Lions. So I encourage you to think about taking over after he finishes his 3-year term. The bad news is he's going to be a hard act to follow, but the good news is I bet he'll help you all along the way too and guide you along. So it really is a great job, a great opportunity to meet with other folks and see what they're doing and share with them what's going on from the district governor. So tonight, I want to congratulate all of you also for all of that awesome service that you were talking about. You're just doing a great job. I see on Facebook what the Battle Creek area is doing, and you set a very high bar for the rest of the district. So congratulations on that. Tonight, I'm going to talk a little bit about the service projects that you're doing in the district. Then I'm going to turn it over to Dave, and he's going to talk about reporting service, why that's important, how to do it, and what should be reported. Before I do that, though, just yesterday we had immediate past District Governor Terry Huffman's appreciation luncheon, and I want to thank those of you who were able to attend. It really was a nice event for her. And I think, if we think back to when she started as governor, or a little bit before that, we were just coming out of COVID. We were just starting to meet again. Some people weren't meeting yet, and she brought us to this place where we can all be together. And yesterday she commented how nice it was to see 84 people there, all smiling and enjoying each other's company again. So she brought us back, and that's really been wonderful. I also want to, on her behalf, thank you for the donations that you made to the bench that she is wanting to put up on the Clark Lake Spirit Trail in honor of her father. He was a Lion for Vandercook Lake and also for Clark Lake, and so that will be in honor of him and Sam. Dave and I have been traveling a lot. We've been to Canada 3 times in the last few months. And most recently we were in Calgary for the USA Canada Forum. I just really love the Michigan Forum and the USA Canada Forum. It's such a wonderful place to learn new things. They have so many different sessions that are great, and this was one of the best ones we've been to. The venue was great, the sessions were great, and one of the best sessions that David and I went to was one that was led by past District Governor and she partnered with ARC and had 2 people from ARC speak on Alzheimer's disease. And it was just very well done. She represented us very well. So congratulations to her. I'm encouraged to go to the forum if you ever can. The next one's going to be in Reno, and the one after that is in Louisville. So it'll be a road trip, so it'll be a little bit easier. So we're back home now, and after 3 years as zone chair, I timed out as well, Brian, and so Kelly asked me to be the global service team coordinator. And Roger, are you going to talk about the GAP team in your 30?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, all right, so I won't go over that. But we're part of the GAP team, and so I'm lucky enough to work on service. And I really appreciate Kelly giving me that job, because I felt that even though I've been a Lion for a long time and I've been pretty busy, I felt like I wasn't doing enough towards service. And so it's really been nice to see all that's going on in our district and to try to help guide that a little bit as well. So I appreciate that. So let's talk about service. As I mentioned, I'm very impressed with all that you are accomplishing. I ask you to please keep me informed of what you're doing. If you'd like me to come over and help you with something, I'd be happy to do that. If you have any questions later, I would be happy to try to answer your questions, anything that you may have. Before I get into what's coming up, I want to tell you a little bit about not just what's been happening at club level or at the district level, but the multiple districts also has been working with service. As Dave mentioned, he was council chair last year, and past international director Gary Anderson came to the Council of Governors and said that, told them that the Special Olympics is going to be bringing in the Unified Cup in soccer into Detroit this summer. And he asked what we could do to support that. And under Dave's direction, the governors went back to their districts, and every single district donated money so that we could support what they were doing. And many Lions went in and helped them as well. So it really was just a great group of governors and a really good service as well. So our mission is never done. So let's talk about what service is going to be coming up. The fall conference and the parade of checks is coming up on October 22nd. And Susanna White is heading up our childhood cancer committee this year. And she has a service project to prepare backpacks for children with pediatric cancer. She was at the appreciation luncheon yesterday, and she showed us the backpacks. They're very nice. They're all different colors, and they have the Lions logo on the front. And clubs have been donating. Probably many of you have donated as well to fill those backpacks. If you'd still like to donate, she can let you know what's still needed. Money is always good too, so that we get whatever it is that you might need. So encourage you to come to the fall conference and be ready to fill up some backpacks and do all of that. As you probably know, our district is also a great supporter for Maggie's Wigs for Kids that provide wigs for children with pediatric cancer. At the fall conference during COVID, I remember we had a video tour of Maggie's Wigs for Kids, and it was really awesome. And I know that past council chair Peggy Allen and Kelly were there just, I think, a week or two ago visiting and really enjoyed the experience. So that's something else that you can do. They actually do tea for the kids, and they're always looking for tea cups and saucers, coffee cups and saucers. So if you're ever around and you see some of those, you can collect those and give those to them. At the fall conference, with Kelly's permission, I'll be announcing another service project that we're going to be doing, and it's more of an individual service project, but we're going to kind of make it a group project as well. And that will be to needle crochet covers for water filters. And let me tell you a little bit about how that got started. My aunt is a nun, and she's with the Franciscan Sisters of the Sacred Heart in Pennfield, Illinois. She just celebrated her 98th birthday. And she's very happy living at the mother house and told us all about the support that she has. She said she was so happy being there that she thought we should come live there also. And I told her I thought maybe they'd let me in, but I wasn't so sure about this. I have friended their Facebook page, and one of her fellow nuns, Sister Ella, had posted that she was going to start working with an organization called Water with Blessings from Louisville, Kentucky. And what they do is they knit and crochet covers for water filters that are used in the Appalachian, Native American areas, and around the world that are using that. They assign one woman, usually a woman, to be in charge of the water filter, and the one water filter will provide water for 4 different families. The problem with it is, though, that they're glass, and so if they drop them, then they break. And so they are knitting and crocheting these covers so that they can keep them from breaking. So Sister Ella announced that she was going to have a meeting of anyone who was interested in working on this. And so I told Dave, well, I think that's awesome because it's cute to go see Sister Innocence. And it's also a chance to go see what Sister Ella's doing and find out more about it, because that sounds like a great project for people in our district. I know we have a lot of knitters and crocheters out there, and so I think that would be something that they would be interested in, and I found that we do have a lot of people who are already starting to work on it. And so we went down to Frankfurt and met with my aunts, and we attended Sister Ella's meeting. They tried to teach Dave how to knit or crochet, but they weren't very successful. And that might be true of you gentlemen as well, but maybe not. But you may have a way for anybody in your friends or family who might be interested in doing this. So it certainly doesn't have to be a lion who will join us with this. I'm happy to have anybody join us. And so Sister Ella told us about it and kind of got us started. I have the directions for doing it here, and I'll put them on the table over here. If any of you are interested in doing this and want to get started, you're welcome to do that. If you're not interested or you just like to know more about it, I encourage you to Google Water with Blessings in Louisville, Kentucky. And you can see the water filters that they have and the people who are using them and what's all involved and what they're doing. So even if you're not interested in getting started with this, it might be good to just look and see exactly what's happening. So I'm going to officially announce it at the fall conference, and then probably in November, I'm going to set up a time where we'll all get together. The initial meeting will probably be at the Vanderbilt Clubhouse in Jackson. But if some of you in this area are interested, I'd be happy to come over. If you can find a spot for us to meet, I'd be happy to come over and do something in this area as well. And we just get together like we did with Sister Ella and kind of go over a little bit more of the details of it and then just kind of work together. As I met with Sister Ella and the other ladies who came in, they said, well, we want to meet more than once. And so they're meeting, I think, a couple times a month just to sit and knit and have some time together and just spend time. And if our group wanted to do that, I'd be happy to make sure that that happened as well. So more information will be coming out about that. We'll talk about it at the fall conference. I'll get something in the newsletter and probably have our wonderful council secretary, Barb, come and send some emails out about it as well. The nice thing about this project is that it's going to be very inexpensive to do. They're very small. I'll put out next to the instructions, I'll put a sample out. I did bring it with me and I can grab it out of my bag. But they're very small. Doesn't matter what color they are. And I know a lot of knitters and crocheters have extra yarn left over from projects and they don't know what to do with it. So this is a great way to use that up. And so it won't cost anything if you're just using up some yarn that you have left over. And so it's going to be something very easy to do. It's also just a nice project that you can just do at home on a cold winter day in your comfy clothes and not even have to go out. So I hope that some people in this area will be interested as well. So I thank you for your kind listening, and I'm going to turn this over to Dave at this point, and he's going to talk about service reporting and why that's important and what should be reported. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Hey, Nancy didn't tell you, Sister Innocence has been, Francis is with us for over 70 years. She was, born when she was 16, I guess almost 80 years, and that type of thing. We started rolling away because, my daughter-in-law, wanted to have children and was having some difficulty. Well, I talked to my son, she's not really with this, but I talked to my son and I said, he said it would be okay if I contacted Sister Innocence and asked if the nuns would pray. And so I got a note back from, they don't call her Mother Superior anymore, but the person in charge of the thing. And she wrote back and she said, they're very kindly. She said, Dave, she says, currently the Franciscan sisters of the Sacred Heart, I think it is,
are praying, are praying for your daughter-in-law in Poland, Germany, United States, and Israel. And I assure you that she will have healthy babies. And so at the time I sat there, I said, wow, it was very nice. I got it on my son, and and I wrote, this is what you do, is I wrote a $200 check, for the motor house. And lo and behold, about 6 months later, like our daughter-in-law got pregnant again and with twins. And I looked at her and I told my daughter-in-law, you're as lucky as hell I didn't write that check for $300. But anyway, we owe sister, this very sweet woman. Why do you report service? And I'm going to sit there and tell you the first thing is we have difficulty somewhat. Some clubs are very good about reporting service, but there's somewhat of a relationship between comfort with computers and reporting of service. In that process, you say, why am I up here? Well, this is my second year as a district administrator, and the district governor, said, fine, on that. And the district administrator can go into any one of your things and put stuff in, and I would go in and do whatever else. So part of the reason I'm here is to tell you that if you're not reporting service, if you got somebody that's not comfortable with reporting service, all you have to do is email me and tell me what you're doing. I'll go in and put it in for you. At that point in time. So I mean, my meeting, we get evaluated on how many hours and how many clubs are reporting in the process. So, it's like when higher headquarters in the Army sends somebody down to one of the lower units and says, I'm here to help you. I say, yeah, right. This is a corporate pigeon. They fly in, crap all over, and fly back. Thing like that. But that's not the case. What we're talking about is reporting. So even if you're having difficulty getting somebody to do that, all you have to do is let me know. And I'll go in and I'll be able to plug those things in for you at that point in time. I don't have any problem with that at all, by the way. Not that difficult, but why do you why do you want to report service? I tell you what, and there's some good stuff online. First thing they say, why report service? They say to strengthen storytelling. Somewhat. To talk about things that you do. Now, Nancy and I went up to it's called the FBI conference, and basically they're trying to teach you how to make presentations better. She did real good. They don't want to see me again. Like she said, strengthen storytelling. And I was just telling when I was district governor, I visited Bedford a couple times. Thing like that. And Wendell Lawrence, right? Yeah, Wendell Lawrence was the president at that point in time. And Wendell told me the story of why he became a Lion. Now, the big thing being is that we all take the pledge. We become Lions for different reasons. But there's some point where you know why you're a Lion. And Wendell told me, he sat there, he said, Dave, he said, I was a tool die maker at General Motors for 30 years, 40 years. He said, I worked shift work, and I really didn't have time to become a Lion. He said, but I'm going to tell you, I think he was the youngest of like 10 children, in the process. He said, my family really, was really challenged, economically. My most things we consider poor. And he said, I was going to school every day, and he said, I couldn't see the chalkboard, and I couldn't read the books. He says, how bad my eyes were. And he sat there and he said, you never forget the day that the Lions Club in the area bought him a pair of glasses so that he could see the books and see the chalkboard. And he said, I never forgot it. And he said, I always said in the back of my head, someday I will be paid back. And so he waited in time. He said, the day I retired from General Motors is the day that I took the pledge for the process. Now, why do I tell you that? And that's the first thing they say on the storytelling. Is Wendell told me that like 5, 6 years ago, something like that. And I had to make a presentation, on, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. But but it was related. And so I use that story on window. That was part of the storytelling. It's the same thing with fundraising, the service, all that.
So I want to ask you a question, Dave. So we're about to do our candy sale. It's a fundraiser. So we're gonna work 12 hours on Friday, 24 hours. Now, to report that, that's not really our service. We're collecting money from the community. Now, what we do with the money, we're gonna do something for the community. But the 24 hours isn't really community service. So how would you do you want me to put that in there? Because that us is a community service, collecting money, donation. So you put down 24 hours. That's my question.
I was gonna get into more of the details, a little jumping ahead. I'm gonna tell you, I've been reporting the service from last year. We started taking heat because they're tracked. District governors are tracked on how many clubs are reporting, and everything. She gets a report, on that. And last year, there was one, we had, number one, I'm gonna tell you is that, we were gifted with an extraordinary group of district governors last year, in this state. I mean, they really were, they were, it was an honor and a privilege to be able to work with them. But we had out of 11 district governors in the state of Michigan, I think 8 or 9 reported gains in membership in their district. It was the second time in 4 years, that happened, and they did some remarkable things in the process, and they got along quite well. And, but the whole thing came back is that the area leader was working with some of them to be able to report service. And we had one guy in C1, which is, C1 in Grand Rapids, and, all the way to thing, must, all the way over. And he, what he did was he's a dentist, and, he's just good at organization, and he's very enthusiastic and he likes his adult beverages, so but anyhow, what he did was he got on right away. They started reporting 100% on their clubs, and I was a district administrator, and Terry got a hold of me, and I was on my regular phone calls and said, Dave, you got to get on this. And I didn't really at that point. I just become district administrator. And so he got back to me and sat there and said, so as a result, I've been doing the reporting. And the question you're bringing up is a little bit jumping ahead, but and this is my interpretation. I'm not sure how we're going to be able to do this, but I believe that, and I'll give you an example, is we started and I call it more of a service. We do a car show for Vanderbilt Lake. Vanderbilt Lake is part of Summit Township. It's not a town. It's not really anything. I mean, Vanderbilt Lake is just a community, and thing. But they have this wonderful little park that's on a lake, Vanderbilt Lake, and one thing the car people like is that we get permission to pull into the park and they park their cars underneath these 100-year-old oak trees, or maybe not quite, but they're able to do that in the shade. And a lot of these car shows are out in the middle of whatever. Now the problem with that being is we target industry, we do that, but really, maybe we would make $600,000, $600,000. And my issue being is that I really believe it's more of a service than a fundraiser. I can tell you because really the people that are there and they're doing it, there's a lot of setup and getting it ready. But it's really one of the few community events besides this trunk or treat I talked to you about, where the community actually congregates. And what we do is we have the church that we work with on the trunk or treat, put up a bouncy castle. The Girl Scouts are based in town in the area. They came and gave away cookies and whatever else. The library came with the bookmobile, set that up and whatever else. And it was really just event again. So my thing being is I think that's more of a service event than it is a fundraiser. And so I'm not too sure, because they make you, when you report, you have to choose. If it's a fundraiser, if it's this, or if it's that. I guess my thinking recently, Bud, is I think I'm gonna report it twice. Once is a service event and once is a fundraiser. Mhm.
I can understand different ways to look at it. I mean, it took us 24 hours to generate the money to provide. We're gonna turn it into the community, we're gonna pass it on 2 different ways back to the community. So, I can report it that way,
I'm gonna try reporting it twice. I don't know if the system's going to thing, but I think I can put one, you can list underneath 2 different titles. In that, but in this car event, and again, I get back to it, is that, I spend a lot of time going out and finding, getting the church there, whatever else. We're not making any money off that. It's strictly a service to get the people together, to enjoy the community, to have a nice event next to the lake and all those types of things. I really do think that's one end, and that's really the service event. And we spend a lot of hours getting that ready. And to me, the fundraising portion is where you're selling the 50/50s, how many, members are selling the 50/50s, how many people are collecting money at the gate. And I like to separate the two. So that's my suggestion, is that we just enter it on a double basis. Once on the fundraising, once in the service. Okay? And, if they bounce it back, I've never seen them, who in the hell's gonna come back and tell you that? You sit there, and if you do, you can say, well, Pat's coming to Cherry Hill, and they'll say, who the hell is that? But anyways, it says, that's the strength of the storytelling. Is there a lot? I heard one guy talk about a fundraiser where where they used to, the only thing they had was, they collected money in the streets in the town. And they sit around, they do that. And he sat there, he said, one guy was talking from Georgia, and he sat there, he said, he had a car coming down the street, and it looked like, I don't know, you remember the movie Uncle Buck? Uncle Buck, and he had that big old Mercury or whatever it was, and backfires and all that. Well, he sat there, and he said, I looked up, and he said, there was Uncle Buck's car coming towards me. Smoke coming out the back. And he said, all I could see his head's bobbing in and out in the thing. And he sat there, and he said, all of a sudden that car swerved right towards him. And he sat there, and he stepped back, and it pulled up right next to him. And he sat there, and he said, and the window didn't work on the driver's side. There was a woman in there with 3 little boys in the back seat all fighting. And he sat there, and she pulled up right next to him, and the window didn't work. And she opened up the door, and she sat there, and she said, listen, she said, I'm going to tell you, last year was a bad year. She said, we really had a hard time. She said, if it wasn't for the Lions in this town, my kids would not have had Christmas. And she said, pulled out a $20 bill. And she said, that's the storytelling. It goes on with it. And that's so, thing. But, on the other end, to me, what service events are the glue that keep clubs together. That's what we do. A service event is that glue that keeps our clubs together. That's when we serve together. That's when we do things. And that's when we enjoy the benefits of seeing people that are appreciative. Seeing a kid that gets in classes and the 4th one in the family. Those are, that's what we're there for. So that's a storytelling portion. Informed decision. Part of what we can do is when we put the metrics, and we have to report these things into the thing, is we have to determine, are we wasting our time on this event, or do we throw more money into it? That type of thing. One thing I remember about Bedford is they still sell the cherry beets. They still sell, now that doesn't seem like a whole heck of a lot, but people go there and they show up for that cherry beet. In that process, and they're appreciative that, the club is doing that, because it's somewhat unusual, in that process. Now, those are just little things, but there's somewhat of a service to the community service going on with that too. So it's a combination. And how do you separate them out? I think you report them once. I really do. Nobody's gonna come back to you and say, well, you're cheating. You know, and again, if they say that, you can say, well, ask Council Chair Hill said, you know, in fact, that, if you want to see, if you really want to get that, you could say, ask the International Director from Lamosh, maybe said this. You know, but don't tell her I said. So informative decisions is my reporting, you're able to actually measure what your impact is. It makes you think it out, you know, the process. You just don't do it out of habit. The inspire service in the process. I mean, when you do one thing, you get something better. I tell you what, we had a guy come into the club, and when we were initiating him, he sat there and he said, and this was 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and he sat there and he said, you know, you're really missing the boat. He said, you need to do a car show. And I made the comment right then, and I said, we're gonna make that happen. And I'll tell you the reason to make it happen is because you get something with the old service events, you know, you have a bunch of people that do that service event, and really that's the closed loop. You know, there really isn't anything, so, you know, it's tough to get new people involved in it. And I sat there, I said, you know, we're gonna start a car show. And my hope being is to turn it over to new members. So that would become their church in the process. They would take ownership at that point in time. I heard of one club that went out and sat there and they said, whenever they brought in a group of around 5 people at one time, and they said to them, the club said, we want you to meet and determine a fundraising or a service event, and we will do it, and you're in charge. 5 people walking in the door. And they sat there and they said, you know, they said 3 years later, all 5 of those people were still in. And how many times have you seen where we brought in a member and they stripped off in the process? Service events are really an opportunity of sitting there saying, hey, you tell us what to do. We'll find the resources. You know, but that puts them in charge. That puts them at the steering wheel right away. You know, and I think that's, you know, that's one thing they want. That's their church. But, you know, the car show I did 2 years, I set up everything. And I worked with the group and whatever else. This year I turned it over to that guy. You know, and I said, go with now. I arrange the park, I'll get the park, I'll do the sort of the administrative stuff. And they did a hell of a good job. They really did. They went out, he went to take ownership, and he tell you how you wouldn't even know how they were involved with that. Yeah, that's okay. You know, the objective was to get them involved with people as a member. And 3 of the members, really 4 of the members on that committee. And my wife's point what they want, you know. And then 4 of the members of the committee are members for less than 4 years in the club, in the process. Be proud. You know, be able to tell what you did and how you did it. Grow partnerships. It's another thing that we want to put out there is that we're recently recruiting. You know, University of Michigan is. It's a year-to-year thing. It's like starting a new club every year. Is that you show up, they have an event, you bring people up, you know, and they bring in some new lines. Now we have 13 new lines basically. We had 2 people. From last year. Really, it was amazing that they lasted through COVID. I mean, they weren't even meeting on the campus. You know, and they had a group that stayed with it. And so this year we have 13 so far. And we had one when we were sitting at the table, and they asked me to bring over stuff. So I bring over the board, and I bring over my dog. You know, dogs are great for attracting young women co-eds. I've known that back in the day. I always had a dog. But anyhow, the thing was, we had one guy come up and he says, you know, I already belong to this organization. He says, do you work with other organizations? And I looked at him, I said, absolutely. I said, you got something worthwhile for this group, and they agreed to it. It's up to them. I said, but yeah, we work with any organization. It's a force multiplier. You know, that's doing service, you know, in that process. So I mean, yeah, it strengthens our ability to go work. Part of the reason they want you to report service time is because International is using it to be able to either get grants or to be able to develop partnerships with other organizations. You know, talk about much. Jimmy Carter has turned 98. He's been a lion for over 70 years. And when he got out, because it's one of the things he did is he started an organization to eradicate river blindness in the world. He did that because he was a lion and he knew there was a need. And we worked with him, in that process. But, you know, we work with his organization, even with line, in order to be able to eradicate river blindness in the world. And so, I mean, that's a force multiplier, you know, the process. Enlighten leaders, be proud, you know, in the process. Now, in reporting, and I'll hit this up, a thing is that what Bud brought up is you report on their service activities, advocacy, and service activity, you know, that advocacy is when we go out and go to somebody and say, hey, listen, we have sight impaired people in this area that need help. We have people that are type 2 diabetics that need your help. And then be able to work with that. And then donations, the third one. So it says service support activities. This encompasses 4 areas. Holding meetings, strengthens. When you meet to be able to do planning, that's part of service. It should be reported, you know, as service. Fulfilling administrative tasks such as running errands, maintaining club records, reporting, attending lines events such as conventions and forums, and engaging in fellowship and fun. Those are all, you know, service supported activities. Now, what is a reportable activity? I'm going to read it to you in scripture and verse. Many Lions and Wheels serve their communities individually outside of their activities planned for their clubs. Districts and multiple districts, some examples include bringing a meal to a neighbor, driving a parent to a medical appointment, or volunteering at their place of worship. This type of work is important and commendable. However, it should not be reported as a Lions service activity. Lions service activity, now if you make a pledge as Lions, we have an organization in Jackson, Michigan called the Interfaith Shelter. And it's meant people can go in there, they can get shelter, they can get meals and things like that for a certain period of time, you know, that. Now, all Lions clubs, I think in the town support them. But if you have somebody who goes in and volunteers, Terry Huffman volunteered to she goes in and just sits at a desk for a while. Now, that's not reportable as an individual. However, if your club determines that is one of the organizations going to support your town, it can be reported. But the club has to agree that you're going to support that. Battle Creek, and I don't know, Battle Creek has the big food bank, you know, that supplies a huge area. You know, thing. If your club was to say we want to support that, and you have people that go over and do individual service, it's reported. If you don't make it, if the club stops saying that's one of your places, it's not reported. You know, that's the thing. If they say, well, I brought meals to my neighbors. Well, that's not a line activity. You're a very nice person, you know, but it's not reported. You know, the process. Any questions on that? Okay, but if the club says, yes, we are going to support you in the face shelter or something else, it doesn't matter if you have a group of 20 or if you have one person going down there. It's a reportable activity. And another thing is, you know, the things that you are reporting, numbers of activities, numbers of people being served. That's, when you go in there and they say, well, how many hours? You know, folks, and probably bad phrase using the word, don't get caught up in your underwear. You know, I think it's that. Okay. Yeah, I think we're there. That's the timing that I was saying. Okay. And the big thing being is to say how much time do you do this? You know, folks, I'm going to tell you right off is, in the Army, sometimes that's what they call a swag. You know, and if you have trouble with that acronym, Bud can tell you what that stands for. You know, but the last thing is Gest. In the process. Okay. And, you know, and so, I mean, don't get caught up on that. Number of volunteers, you know, take a guess. I'm going to tell you that I have to start reporting how much, you know, because service time is the time you spend in meetings too. That's planning. You know, and that's how you're going over how you're going to do that. What I'm going to tell you is that typically, you know, my numbers being is the Vandercook Lake has about 30 people attend the meeting. And we're there for about 2 hours. So I'm going to report 60 people or $60 of volunteer time for that meeting. I'm not going to sit there and get worried about the only 24 attending or the 36 attending. Keep it simple, stupid. You know, that's the big deal. Both kids thing that, when they caught up, it was, is how many hours he spent in the car trying to get to the function. You know, in that process, I'm gonna tell you that 3 of us went to Montreal, and it was 11 hours, get there, 11 hours back. You know, so for Nancy and I, you know, I plan on reporting those hours. That was, you know, that was 22 hours of service trying to get to that function in the process. You know, and again, that's not cheating, that's just the truth, that's how much time you put into things. And we oftentimes are not accountable for that. Again, you know, I want to sit there and say is that, you know, don't, you know, do estimates if you have to. Don't go getting caught up in it. Nobody's accusing you of cheating on your taxes. They want to have an idea of what you're doing. They use these numbers, like I said, to be able to do grants, to be able to make estimates, to go to other organizations and work with them. Number of volunteer hours, funds raised, funds donated. You know, those are all separate categories. And depending upon the function, they ask you to classify what it is in your metrics change. Some of your metrics, you know, some of your metrics are going to be soft, you know, in that process. I'm going to give whoever wants it just the same thing, but they have a chart here to tell you exactly what gets reported and not reported, you know, in that thing. Is it, you know, one thing it brought up, it says one of the metrics might not be, and this is for your comments section, such as if you do a blood drive, one of the metrics will be is how much blood is donated. And so there's another column underneath that sits there and says, you know, talk about and make comments. You know, I mean, that's, you know, that's relevant and easily measurable. What did old Paul Harvey say? Page 2. And they have the instructions on how to do the reporting. One thing that, you know, try to make this, I'm trying to avoid looking at my wife, because every time I look at her, she points to the damn watch. Yeah. Is it service reporting caps? And I have a problem with this myself, you know, is that we put up Christmas decorations, about 54 of them, in this little bird called Vandercook Lake. And they maintain it. We have a bunch of guys that own that, and they put new lights in them every time. They've redone these things several times. We actually had an organization come to town and say, we want to see some, you know, you're not putting any on Peggy Street. And we said, yeah, well, so it costs $500 a drop. But this is the box on there to be able to plug it in, and they pay for the electricity. They said, well, you know what the cost is? They came to us with a $3,000 check, so we want to see 6 ones. You know, in that area, you know, that type of thing. So I mean, that's you know how they work at. So in the reporting, you tell me 54 ornaments in this little town. How many people are we serving in the 30-day period of time, or 50-day period of time they're hanging up there? Well, you know what helps is that we have caps, and so the cap is the most people that you can serve is 3,000. You can't be more than 3,000. That's in the regulations. Number 2, you can only put in 1,200 volunteer hours. That's the maximum cap for anything you have on there. You have $200,000 fund donated, and I know you don't have to worry about that. But you can't report more than 200 grand, right? You know what I mean? And the $250,000 funds raised. And those are caps that are imposed by your, you know, Lions Club International. So I think, you know, it gives you somewhat of a, you know, but all I'm going to tell you is that for the Christmas lights, I'm going to put that 300 people were served, or 3,000 people were served. You know, that period of time. You know, so you know that's how it works. You know, and that pretty much. You have any questions?
Yeah, Dave.
Yes.
I want to give Betty as an example since she's not here.
Betty was a hard worker in our club. Well, she put in like something like 5,000 hours of nurse working at the hospital, but that wasn't a Lion project. She was a Lion that did that work at the hospital. So it's something that we didn't authorize, so to speak, but we tried to keep track of our you know, our work or whatever we were doing. For example, we were Battle Creek Town Medical Care Facility. And so I volunteered to do art classes for the people there. Well, that's a project, but I mean, that's a Lion project, but is Betty's, she puts all this extra time and some other thing, that doesn't count, right?
If the club says that that's a project that your club is dedicated to, in other words, you have made the decision, and such as what we say is interfaith shelter is a project that we're gonna have. You know, is it then you're reporting those hours, but if it's not an authorized thing for the club has to agree that they're going to dedicate resources to that. So if the club was to come along and say, we're going to do that, and they encourage all members to do it, then I say, yeah, I report it. You know, and again, you know, the guidelines that they put out, you know, leave a lot of place for interpretation. You know, but, and some people would sit there and say to you, oh, you know, you may have somebody come and say, no, that isn't. You know, folks, if you have a member that really takes issue with it, I'd probably say, okay. I mean, this is my thing, but I mean, just understand to say, the board, your executive board has to decide that that's something that you're going to do and dedicate time to. Habitat for Humanity, we had one guy that did, I mean, we had 2 or 3 members that did all sorts of hours for Habitat for Humanity, but we never reported them because it was never one of our projects that we had, you know, identified.
Well, you just have to identify it.
The board has to agree, you know, there's so many. I mean, some way, and just my take on it, it's like a bank. You know, if you decide to do something with, you know, with your or with your account with a bank, you have to go in and actually show them notes that say that Craig Bishop is now treasurer. And then they'll let them do that, but they want something in documentation. I do it the same way. Folks, I have cards. My wife got me cards. You know, and so if anybody with your clubs wants to be, you know, needs me to be able to do reporting for you, you can give them their card, and I'll be happy to do it. They just have to email me and say, we did this on this date. Okay? Hey, it's been a real slice of paradise. Let's do this again sometime. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. A lot of information on service reporting. Again, you do that right through My Lion. The more you do it, the easier it comes. You can go right in there and tell, you know, is it a fundraiser, is it a meeting, is it a, you know, activity, and then figure out the hours. So, and again, if you have any questions on it, need some help, Dave's got an open door out there. Give me a call. I'll try to help you out, try to walk you through some stuff. Okay, so hopefully we can get reported out there. All right, so thank you, David. Thank you, Nancy. Our next speaker on the lineup is Lion Extraordinary Roger Bosse. Does a whole lot of stuff for a whole lot of clubs. We've got the new Clear Lake Club, virtual club going for all those virtual impaired. Fresh back from the holiday over in Europe. Give it up for Lion Roger Bosse. Thanks, Brian.
Yes, I did get back from a trip, and I wanted to, I won't take too much time with this, but I saw something over there, and, you know, Lions clubs are all over the world. And we were touring, as part of our trip, we were touring a lot of cathedrals and castles and different things like that. Well, these cathedrals in Germany especially, outside of them, there would be a really nice model, a miniature model of the cathedral, and they were made out of brass. And I didn't realize this until somebody else in my party told me about this, but some of the tour guide said, well, these are for the blind. And they were highly detailed and an exact model of the cathedral with all the, you know, like the roof had all the scallops of where everything was. And I mean, you could just, it was an exact replica. And one of the fellows said, well, hey, Roger, you're in the Lions Club, right? I said, yeah. He goes, well, did you notice the plaque on the ground? Said it was donated by the Lions Club of, you know, that area. And so I started looking, and there were a bunch of these in different areas where we were traveling. So Lions are everywhere, and they do great things. I didn't think about something like that. So what I'm here to talk to you tonight about, and I've got a couple of handouts on the table. I won't take a lot of time, but one of the things people complain about Lions is all the acronyms And one of the acronyms that myself and Nancy and Dave represent are what's called the GAT team, GAT, that stands for Global Action Team. And basically the purpose of the GAT team is to combine Lions who take leadership roles in the areas of leadership, membership, and service. So Nancy is the GST for our district, and I'm the GLT for our district, and Dave has been the GMT, and Cheryl Bradshaw now from Jackson is the GMT. Now this is not just a district thing or a state thing. It actually starts at the club level and then goes up through the various districts. And I've got there's a little flow chart that looks like this on your table, and that sort of just sort of lays out the progression. And essentially the purpose of the GAT team is to help the districts and the district governors achieve their goals through fostering membership growth in clubs, increase visibility of Lions in the community through service projects, and to build strong and innovative leaders in the clubs and districts. So for in the club level, the vice president is typically the GLT in that position. So they would be responsible for making sure people go to training and maybe step up to be a leader. The service chair, and that's a new position. The GST, there's now a club service chair position, and Cyril City just started that this year, and Hope Swank is our GST, club service chair. And then your membership chair, who most Lions clubs have a membership chair, and that's the GMT section. So each of those positions can work with the next position up to understand what are the opportunities, what's the word on the service projects in the district, and what are some membership opportunities that we might take advantage of, and some techniques. So then the state has the same level, and Terry, past District Governor IPDG, Terry Huffman is the GST for the state of Michigan, and PDG Roshni Patel is the GLT, and I'm not sure who the GMT is. Yes. Barrissey, right, from Lansing area. So then, so anyway, so that's the GAT, the Global Action Team, and how it functions and why it functions. So my primary responsibility is to provide training and encourage people to become leaders. So a lot of times people are concerned about taking a leadership role because, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do that job. So the answer is go to training. So we have multiple levels of training and opportunities to take advantage of. And most of you are familiar with the spring, we call it spring training now, but it's called the spring forum at Vandercook Lake High School. And we kicked that off again last year, sort of on a hybrid basis. We had another event at I guess it was it was in April this year, in 2022. My memory's not very good. And we will again have it in May 4th of 2023. So this is always, like just after you've had your elections and you've got new officers and new positions in your clubs, come to training before the new Lions year starts. So that's the idea of the timing of this particular event. So we offer training for the presidential roles, secretary, treasurer, membership chair. We do service reporting, how to do it, social media now. Let's see. Oh, there's a variety of things, but anyway, so there's always something to learn. We also have on the district website, which is also, and the flyer I have shows some of the different websites, and I will email this to Brian, and you can email it to your members. Anybody that's comfortable with a computer can click on those links, and it'll take you to those locations so you can find the information. We do have recordings of the different trainings that we've done. They don't actually show up on the website now, but if you would like to see one for any of the trainings that we've done, you can call me and I can get you a link for that. Lions, so the multiple district also has opportunities. And the Michigan Forum is one of the things that happens every February, at the end of February. And this is usually, now it's going to be in Grand Blanc, February the 25th. And it's basically it's a day when people come together, and usually there are 2 or 3 sessions, workshops, and have a great meal. You get to meet a lot of Lions and hear some great keynote speakers. We also hand out the White Cane scholarships to deserving students who applied through the Site Conservation Group. The other thing is the Lions Leadership Institute, which is the event held at Higgins Lake. And this is a general leadership type conference. And this year they're going to have a Faculty Development Institute. And I just got the flyer from Rudy Burns today. The general leadership conference is $250. And there are 2 sessions. There's a beginning session and then a master's session. And then so if anybody wants to become an instructor, it's $350, and you can ask Dave and Nancy what it's all about because they just did it. So we appreciate your doing that and helping our district get better. So going on to Lions International, there are all kinds of trainings through Lions International, and if you have a MyLion account, you can go there, and I've got an instruction. So if you sign into your member portal, you can select Learn, and then you can get information on any of the jobs in Lions, and then some. So I'm gonna just kind of hold it there because I know we've got some more things to do. But you can look at the flyer and you can see what's available. And if we email this to you, if you have a question, if you're a treasurer, if you're a secretary or a president, and you know somebody that wants to be, you can refer them to this, and they can get all the information they might possibly want and more. So, and if you have a question, if you weren't able to attend the training back in April, give me a call, or if you know somebody in your club that would like to get more training, just let me know. I know most of you know how to get a hold of me, so just let me know, and we can hook them up and give them some more knowledge, and hopefully make them feel more comfortable in their role. So, any questions? All righty.
Okay, thank you, Roger. Lots of good. There we go. Did you steal my other one too, Roger?
Probably. Page 3.
Right.
Page 3.
Page 3. Yeah. Lots of information on there. Again, there's lots of training available out there. Check out those My Lions accounts and things out there. Search for what you're looking for. It's a great way to find information out there. So thank you, Roger. And also in your packet there, I handed out a couple of these to the club. This is under winter camp news. Make sure you're looking through that district newsletter. There's a lot of information in there, and this is just one page out of the district newsletter that talks about winter camp. So there's a lot of information on there. That looks like a go this year. So we're going to make that happen, and those that have helped in the past with that know that that's a big project. Each little club has their own little section of that to do, whether it's getting them off the train, getting them to the camp from the train, doing the meals, doing the entertainment. So we'll be talking more about that you'll hear more about that as a zone and as that information rolls out. Okay. Next on our list, I said we had a packed agenda here tonight. We have Teresa Gest. She is the district Kid Site coordinator, and wanted a couple minutes to talk about Kid Site and the programs with that. So let's give it up for past Cereal City president and current Lion of the Year for Cereal City, Teresa Gest.
has, attended or, been to an event where a kids site event is happening? All right. How many of you have worked a kids site event? All right. By this time next year, I'm hoping that all of the hands are up. So, what I'm doing now is I'm organizing some kids site training events. If you haven't been to an event and you don't know what it's about, come to the First Congregational Church this Saturday, from 1 to 4, 1 to 5, and come see what it's all about. I'll warn you, it's addictive, so approach with caution. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We test the kids, it takes about 3 to 5 seconds per child. And if they don't pass the screen, they get a really nice printout that shows the areas of deficit that they're able to take to their ophthalmologist or optometrist. If your club hasn't scheduled a training yet, I'll be knocking on your door, calling you, and getting something set up with you. So my goal is to have as many people in each club trained and ready to go, so that we can support our community in the best way we can. So if you have any questions or you want to get something set up, you want to call me before I call you, give me a call. All right. I look forward to seeing you all on Saturday if you're interested in coming to check it out and see what it's all about.
What you find too, kind of like she talked about, you don't have to set up just a kid site screening, although you can do that for, Pennfield Elementary or, a school, although that's a good thing to do. But if you're having another project, you can have the kid site there along with it. That's kind of what happened at the county fair, Calvin County Fair with Marshall. Marshall had a booth there, which was just promoting Lions, but then they also brought kid site in for a day. Their Lion booth was there for a week, but then they brought on Kids Day, they brought the Kids Day trailer in to do that. So make sure you're talk with Teresa about that and get some training out there. Okay, the Kids Day. Thank you. Thank you all our speakers here tonight. A lot of good information. And if you have any questions, make sure to call them, email them. They're in the books, or call me. I'll get you in touch with them to follow up with anything that we need. Some of the service projects for our zone that we're looking at, something we can all work on together. The first thing in there is the Bedford eyeglass collection. This is where we, in the past, what we've done, we've met out at the Bedford Lions Den, where they hold all the glasses that we're collecting from the area. And then we sort through the boxes and sort them out, get them counted. And then I've been taking them up to the special needs vision clinic up in Saginaw, where they get reused up there or donated to needy cause for that. And that's a special place in itself. Okay, and it's a great avenue for our glasses. So I kind of talked with President Margaret about that, and we are looking at Wednesday, November 9th. Okay, and I think most of your clubs have sent a couple people to help with that. We can use as many hands as possible for that. Normally they meet on Tuesdays, but because of elections, we're meeting the next day. So of course we have lots to talk about on the site table and Lion stuff. But Wednesday, November 9th, and they meet at noon. So I'll be sending out some more information on that, kind of as an invite, so they know how many are coming. The Bedford Club does provide lunch for us, so they kind of could use a head count on how many people are going to be there for that. And of course, it would be nice if everybody can donate to the lunch for the cause for that. Once we have their meeting, get through with that, then we'll sort the glasses, get them boxed up, and load them in a truck and get them off to Saginaw. So Wednesday, November 9th at noon at the Bedford Lions Den for that. The Outdoor Education Center at Clear Lake Camp. The last couple of years, we've done, fall cleanup for that. It kind of started in COVID when they hadn't had any campers and they needed a lot of yard work done and windows washed and things like that. And so, Matthew Setner, has contacted me again this year and loves to have the Lions come up there. So we are looking at the weekend of November 12th and 13th, to go up there and do fall cleanup for them. This is another good project for us. There's lots of things anybody can do. We wash windows, we move, wood chips around, we move firewood, stack firewood, we rake leaves, lots of things we can do, for the camp up there. He did say there's a building he'd like painted this year at the High Ropes, place. So there's lots of activities out there. I'll be sending some information out on that as well. So we can kind of get a count about how many people we're gonna have when we know that. Then we'll decide what day or days, that we can do that for them and get some help up there. So that's gonna be the weekend of 12th and 13th. First time we did it, we did 2 days. I think the last couple of years, we might have just done one day, it's Saturday. So it depends how many people are available. So, and that's what I told him. We'll see how many Lions I can get. And then from that, then we'll determine what we're gonna do for those days, okay? The other project I'd like to see done, and I talked to Craig Bishop about this a little bit. Here in Battle Creek, our signs as you come into town, most towns have those service signs that are out there with the Kiwanis and the Lions and the Rotary and all the different clubs. And some of our signs are either non-existent or need some help. So I'm gonna, yeah, or fall down, or they're behind a tree or something. So that's one of my little pet projects maybe this year, to find some information about how we can, get those going and work with the other clubs on that as well, okay? Next two, we'll just kind of combine a little bit. You know, basically, I'd like to know, we'll go around, kind of let us know what's going on in your club, what you got going on. If there's any, issues you're having, that's why we're here to help everybody out, as well as let everybody know, things that are going on. And I'm gonna start back here with Margaret and the Bedford Club, because they got lots of stuff soon starting up again and happening.
All right, I've passed out a few flyers for the chicken barbecue this Saturday. Dinner is $12. You get a half chicken, coleslaw, beans, dinner roll, and we have baked goods available. As Brian said, our membership meeting in November will be the 9th because of the election. October 20th is our first soup and salad. We will have chili plus 3 additional soups and desserts. And that payment for that is a donation. We do continue to sell our cherry juice concentrate on Tuesdays from 3 to 6. And we do rent the Lions Clubhouse for parties, wedding receptions, and we're doing celebrations of life. We've had a few of those. And we are currently having our building painted, the exterior, and we are looking for a new sign for the outdoors, one of those letter signs. So, and our meetings are the first Tuesday of the month at 12 noon. And our board meeting is the third Tuesday of the month at noon. And that's about it.
Okay, so we can come and get chicken dinner and then go to the kids' site training on Saturday, and we're getting everybody booked. All right, how about those Pennfield Panthers?
What we talked about this weekend is our candy sale, this Friday and Saturday, from 7 to 7, be at Family Fair and at Shell Station and Pennfield. We have our Christmas baskets coming up in December. We work with the kids at the school. That thing is a weekend of the 17th. We usually do it the week before and get it to the families. delivered that thing. We work on Friday night getting stuff around, Saturday, and all Alliance members come in that are around and pack up all the baskets, and we deliver them on Saturday that day. Try to get it done before noon, so. Our fundraiser we talked about for, the community sales is money we raised to get 2 scholarships at the end of the year to 2 seniors. To use for school, college, so that's what we're working at for. And then White Kings, what everybody does in, springtime.
All right, thank you, Larry. And I'll see you guys Wednesday night. Yeah, Teresa's coming, you're coming with me too, right? Yeah. So Teresa will be there too, so you'll learn all about Kids Side again. So, all right. Okay, Cereal City.
We have quite a few things, and please let me know if I forget something. We have, Rise on the 3rd Thursday of every month. We've partnered with, the Rise Corporation, for food distribution. They're also looking for, other sources, to help out. They need some help packing Wednesdays. They've just received a big grant. So they're looking for people to help pack boxes from noon until I think 1 or 2 on Wednesday, that 3rd Wednesday of every month. And then they also do 2 food distribution sites that Wednesday, and then Thursday they have 2 food distribution sites. So if you want more information on that, let me know. We have the food bank. We've been doing that the first Tuesday of every month. That stopped because the gentleman that was running the evening, was shipped overseas, and he's back, so we anticipate that to start again very soon. Even so that, the food bank needs help, so you can go online, you can find a time that works for you, and you can, go as a group or go as just one. We have food, the Christmas baskets coming up. We've contacted Darlene Williams to get the food started, and we started working with the food bank to get that scheduled to get those things started. And the Thanksgiving Day parade, the Christmas parade, sorry, is November 19th, and that is a ton of fun if you are interested in joining us. We have somebody in the Lions too. We have the kids site trailer, and we walk the route and pass out candy, and it's a lot of fun.
That might be something we might talk about Wednesday with Pennfield and the other clubs, if there's things we can do. One of the food pantry is one of those situations that Dave talked about where we as a club decided to do the food, to support the food pantry and the food bank. And that is one where different people are going at different times, but that's still reportable as helping the hunger situation, that don't have a lot of people there at once, but we have different people there during the time, but that's something we decided to do on that. We also just finished our road cleanup here on Dickman Road for environmental there. So lots of things going on there, okay? Host club, they have a new meeting place and a lot of things going on.
Right. In the last few years, we've been bounced from place to place to place, but now we've kind of settled at the Regional History Museum. We meet the first Tuesday of the month. And we've kind of devoted what's left of us to the History Museum. And if you haven't been there, it's a moving place. I mean, it's really growing, and a lot of support is in through the community. Right now, they have a big fundraiser for a new heating system. They want us to support that too. And I didn't know, years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I claimed a room for the Lions. I didn't ask them, I just claimed it. And now they're asking for a donation and rent. so. We're gonna have to, I volunteered, well, we pay $100 a year to rent that room. But I don't know if anyone else, Roger's been there, we have a room stuffed full of things from Pennfield, from Springfield, it doesn't exist anymore. And the host club has a huge history of things, and Wendell Doty is just, he is a person that saved everything. So we have a really good history thing. I don't know if this is really a service project, Dave, but in a way it is, because we're serving the community in terms of our history in the community. That's the way I look at it. And so we've got Pennfield things and Bedford things and all kinds of stuff that have saved from years. Our club started in 1924. And so it's got a real good history, and at one time had 160 members. And that was in the day when companies paid their dues, but it isn't happening anymore. But other than that, we do Christmas books and a toy in a little bag for Darlene, the Christmas lady. And then we do pick up glasses, and Betty was one of our big glass picker-uppers. Now I just gotta know where she did it all, because I got a garage full of stuff from her. And now we will be meeting at the History Museum from now on until they throw us out, at least until at noon on that Tuesday. So we also have helped the History Museum with their garage sale. So I count that as a service project, and we're helping them. They sell stuff to make money for themselves, and we help them. It was a heck of a lot of work. So we've kind of shifted from Calhoun Medical Care Facility since the pandemic, so we didn't work out there anymore. So we moved to the History Museum.
And as we talked about before, Host Club, they're a little light in the members right now. So if you have projects or things like that you need some help with, or you think some of the host people can help you with, let them know. Like I said, spread the word. So if they can come and help us, or if they got something that they need help with as well, be sure to let me know, and we'll try to get you some other zone help or some other lines help over there. Okay, so we can all work together to help everybody out. Okay. Next day, just the dates to remember, other than everything that's been added on about the soup and salad, the training Saturday, the chicken dinner on Saturday, October 22nd, the fall conference. I put a couple other handouts out there, but again, this comes right out of the district newsletter that everybody should be getting, or I think everybody gets that, right? Not just the officers. Doesn't go to it.
It goes just for your president and your secretary, and then it's up to them to finish the club.
Okay. Okay. So if you're getting this as an officer, that district newsletter, make sure you're forwarding that to your club. This is just some of the information out there. So about the fall conference, it's gonna have a lot of good information again. It's a dress up, so you can dress up in your favorite Halloween costume. All right, for that. And it's also the parade of checks that I included in here. That's a time when clubs support our causes and the district causes. So hopefully that's been in some of your club budgets to support that as well. And it's a good time to do that. And instructions are in there as well for that. But again, try to get some members from each of your club to the fall conference. Let's see, if you want to come early, they're doing the backpacks for the what is there a time they need to get the conferences from, or is from 9 to 1, and if we're gonna do backpacks, we come at.
Doors open at 8:30, and we'll pack them until we start.
Okay. Okay. All right. So 8:30 to pack backpacks for the childhood cancer. November 12th and 13th. That's when we're looking at Clear Lake Camp Fall Cleanup. it's time also for clubs to do for your treasurer, to give with your treasurer, because your Form 990 IRS form needs to be, reported this fall. So make sure to take a look at that. But that's due by November. So that's a good time to do that. November 28th is, when I'm looking at having the second zone meeting, and that will be right back here. Kind of same time, same place, different day. And that one is focused on membership. So we talked about how to get new members, how to retain the old members, different things we can do, how we can be a little creative on that. What we really find is to just ask, talk to somebody about lions and just ask them to be a lion, and that really is the best way we found as far as other promotions. So make sure you're thinking about that. Okay. And club visits, I'll be scheduling club visits with hosts. I'll get with you guys. Bedford, we're coming to glasses. Pennfield, we're going this week. So, you know, I like to get around to the other clubs, so we'll be in touch with that as far as that goes. Kelly, do you have any other words for the good of the club this evening? Awesome. She's awesome. Okay.
Covered it quite well.
All right. Okay, remember to support Kelly and all her membership drive this year. That's one of her big goals, is to add on the members. So we'll see what we can do for that. Okay. Any other final comments from anyone before? Oh, Roger's got some. Okay.
If anybody is interested in going to Higgins Lake, the deadline to register is October 13th. So it's a great training. If you're interested to go, and you can swing it. It's a great thing to do.
Okay. We're about ready to wrap up here, I think. Over here on this table, we have some fantabulous door prizes. Okay, plus we also have some gifts. We also have some gifts for our speakers here tonight. Nancy Hill, which you can pick a gift, whichever one you would like. And we're gonna let our speakers pick, and then we're gonna wrap up with that. All right. And Mr. Dave, would you like another mum, or would you like a bag of Halloween candy? Okay. All right. Roger Bosse, would you like a mum or a bag of Halloween candy? Come on up. Teresa, thank you for speaking tonight. Would you like a mum or a bag of Halloween candy? Governor Kelly Louie, thank you for coming to our festive event. Would you like a mum or a bag of Halloween candy?
Unfortunately, I don't want the candy, and I appreciate it, and I just got 6 months for my grandchildren, so you can wrap them right now.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. All right, so everybody has their blue door prize ticket? Right? We'll pick a winner.
Wake them up. That's a big pot.
It's a big pot, yeah. All right. Okay, lucky number, last 3 digits, 637. Craig, it's like a mum or a bag of Halloween candy?
Mom, okay, tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, next bag of Halloween candy we're down to. All right, 633. Donate. Draw again. All right, 628. Muriel. Happy Halloween. I'll let you go. Rolling now. 629. Woo! Happy Halloween. 634, Hope. Alright. All right, our final winner tonight. Okay, 626. Margaret going to Bedford. All right. There we go. Okay, well, congratulations to all the winners. Thanks again for all our speakers tonight and everybody for coming. Make sure there's a lot of information we talked about. Make sure to take it back to your clubs and your boards and find ways that you can help your club. And if anybody has any questions, make sure to contact me. You've got my email, you've got my phone number. Text me, whatever, find a way I can help you out. And same thing with Dave, we've got reporting, we can get some answers for you, okay? So everybody drive safe going home, and we'll see you when we see you. All right, thank you.